So, here's the question for you. What in the world connects an ancient plant twisting itself to catch the morning sun to the absolute cutting edge of mental health treatment? I know, it sounds like a riddle, right? But the answer is a single, incredible molecule that's been shaping life on Earth for over 1 billion years.
Today, we're diving deep into the epic story of what you might call the brain's master switch, the serotonin 2A receptor. This one little molecule had a starring role in building the human mind, and now it just might hold the key to healing it.
To really get this, we have to rewind the clock. I mean, way, way back. We're talking before animals, before even the most basic complex life.
And here's the first big surprise. You know serotonin, right? That famous brain chemical? Well, it didn't start in a brain, not even close. It started in plants. Turns out its precursor, tryptophan, is amazing at absorbing light. So plants used it to literally point themselves toward the sun, turning light into energy, into life itself.
Think about that. This simple chemical for growth and finding your way was just too useful for nature to use only once. So, when animals finally showed up on the scene, evolution was like, yep, I'm using that again. And the very same molecule that helped a plant reach for sunlight was repurposed to help build and guide the most complex thing we know of, the human brain.
Okay, let's jump forward a few 100 million years and get into the brain. Serotonin doesn't just do one thing. It works through a whole bunch of different docking stations, or receptors. And for our story, we're focused on two of them that are in this constant push and pull, this dynamic dance. They're like two opposing levers that control the very architecture of our minds.
On one side, you've got the 5-HT1A receptor. This one is all about stability. It helps your neurons mature, it solidifies their connections, it basically locks in everything you've learned. But on the other side, we have our main character, the 5-HT2A receptor. And it is the agent of change. It promotes plasticity, adaptation, and the growth of brand new connections. A really great way to picture this is to think about working with clay. You absolutely need the 1A receptor to fire the kiln, to make your creation strong, solid, and permanent. But you can't create anything new if the clay is already hard, right? That's where the 2A receptor comes in. It softens the clay, making it flexible and ready to be reshaped. You need both, stability and change. So this soften the clay receptor, what did it really do for us? Well, it turns out it was absolutely critical for the single most important event in our entire evolutionary story, the massive, incredible expansion of the human brain.
See, if you want to build a bigger, more complex brain, you just need more building blocks. And the key building blocks are these incredible cells called basal radial glia, or BRGs for short. Think of them as the stem cells for the cortex, the brain's wrinkly outer layer. Their ability to multiply like crazy, to proliferate, is what determines just how big and powerful a brain can become.
And this is where it gets just wild. Look at this evolutionary leap. In rodents, these critical brain-building cells make up only about 10% of the pool. In macaques, it jumps up to 50%, but in humans, a staggering 75%. This is a huge part of what makes our brains so fundamentally different.
So what caused that incredible boom in brain-building cells? Well, research points directly back to our protagonist, signaling through the 5-HT2A receptor. In other words, this simple soften-the-clay receptor basically gave our ancestors the green light to build the powerful, complex brains that define us as a species.
All right, let's fast forward to today. Right now, inside your brain, where is this incredibly powerful receptor most concentrated? Well, it's found right at the top of the chain of command.
This area is called the transmodal cortex. You can really think of it as the brain's CEO. It's the place where all the information from all your senses gets integrated. It's what allows you to think abstractly, to plan for the future, to have a sense of who you are. It is the most human part of our brain. And what's so fascinating is that this command center is built for flexibility. It has the highest density of those 5-HT2A plasticity receptors anywhere in the brain. It also happens to mature the slowest, staying open for learning well into your 20s. And it has less of the stuff called myelin, the fatty insulation that locks connections in place, which keeps it highly adaptable. It is literally built for change. So let's just pause and connect the dots. We have an ancient system built for change that constructed the most adaptable parts of our brain. And this brings us right back to the present day and why this story is so critical for the future of mental health. You know, a lot of conditions like Depression or addiction can really be thought of as the mind getting stuck. Thoughts and behaviors fall into these deep, rigid ruts. There's this great metaphor from physics. Picture a marble rolling on a landscape. When you're stuck, that marble is trapped in a deep, deep valley, and it takes a huge amount of energy to push it out.
This is where our receptor comes back in. Activating the 5H2A system does something truly remarkable. It temporarily flattens that energy landscape. It triggers a state of hyperplasticity, allowing the brain to break free from those old ruts. The marble isn't stuck anymore. It can explore the entire landscape, and maybe, just maybe, find new, healthier valleys to settle into.
And this isn't just a theory. In recent clinical trials for major depression, researchers have been using psilocybin, which is a potent activator of this receptor, and combining it with psychotherapy. The results? Response rates have consistently been over 70%. For conditions that are notoriously difficult to treat, that number is a very big deal.
So the crucial point here is the mechanism. It's not just about the drug. The process involves using a compound that activates the receptor, what's called a 5H2A agonist, to open a biological window of plasticity. And then, while that window is open, psychotherapy can act as a guide to help the mind reshape itself, to form new, healthier patterns that can last long after that window is closed.
So there you have it. From a molecule helping plants find the sun, to building the human cortex, to now offering a whole new paradigm for mental health care. The story of the 5H2A receptor is this profound reminder that our capacity for change isn't just a nice idea, it is written deep into our biology. The great challenge and the great opportunity that lies before us now is to understand this powerful tool and learn how to use it wisely.